Hey guys, today we're doing 2.4. I'm splitting up 2.4 into two videos just because I want to cover synthetic and long division by itself to make sure that we got that before we move on to 2.4. So, synthetic and long division we're going to do first. If you think about long division that you learned back in 5th grade, if we take the number, so the 3,587 is the dividend, and we're going to divide it by 32. So 32 doesn't go into 3. How many times does 32 go into 35? Well, that's 1, so we put a 1 right here. 1 times 32 is 32, and then we subtract 35 minus 32 is 3, and then we bring down our 8. They brought down the 7 too. I kind of screwed that, but it's fine. 32, how many times does 32 go into 38? Again, 1, so we put a 1 up here. 1 times 32 is 32. We subtract 38 minus 32 is 6, and then we bring down our 7 either from here or wherever, 67. Okay. How many times does 32 go into 67? Well, it's 2. So we put the 2 up here. 2 times 32 is 64. We subtract. 67 minus 64 is 3. And so this right here is your remainder. Okay, so we divided by this. So our answer was 112 with a remainder of 3. Okay, so we can do the same thing with polynomials. So you have to look at, first off, always make sure that all of your terms are there. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so how many times does 3x go into 3x cubed? Well, 1x squared, so we put a 1x squared and it's above this x squared. So these are now going to go down in descending order, starting at 1 below this. So x squared times 3x gives 3x cubed, and then 1x squared times 2 gives 2x squared. So we subtract, and so we subtract this one, and we also subtract that one. So you have to be careful and you have to distribute that negative to that second term. Those always cancel. And then 5x squared minus 2x squared gives 3x squared, and then we bring down 8x, and then we bring down the 7. Okay, so now again, how many times does 3x go into 3x squared? Well, that's 1x. So we put our 1x above here. 1x times 3x gives 3x squared. 1x times 2 gives 2x. Still subtract, so we subtract that one and subtract that one. Okay, those cancel. 8x minus 2x is 6x, and then bring down your 7. How many times does 3x go into 6x? 2, so we put our 2 up there. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 2 is 4. We subtract both of them. 6x minus 6x cancel. 7 minus 4 is 3. So there's your remainder of 3. Okay, and so there's your quotient. The dividend is this is your quotient, and there's your remainder. Okay, so let's look at a couple. And so if we have, there's two ways to write our answers. So we can do it as a fraction, or we can do it as a polynomial. And so if here we have, so we're basically looking to see if factors are, if we can divide them into them evenly. If we can, then it's a factor. If we can't, then we have a remainder and it doesn't divide evenly, but we still need to be able to divide by synthetic or long division. Spoiler alert, I'm going to use synthetic, but some people like long division. So we have a dividend, so we have a divisor times a quotient plus our remainder is equal to the dividend. Okay, so the divisor is what we divide by, the quotient is what we get, so you can multiply those like a polynomial, and then plus your remainder is equal to the dividend. And so if we look at the numerical, we divided 3,587 by 32, so that was our divisor. If we multiplied it by what we got, our quotient, and then we added 3, that's what that equals. Okay, same with the polynomial. If we divided by this, the divisor was 3x plus 2, so that's a parentheses. The other polynomial is the x squared plus x plus 2, that's what we got, and then our remainder is 3. Okay, and not if we multiplied it out and added our like terms, we would get what we started with. Okay, this is what so this is basically your quotient and remainder that you see here. Okay, you can also write it as a fraction, which is the most common case, which is this summary statement. So if we have the previous answer, like the polynomial that we just did, okay, our quotient is this, x squared plus 1x plus 2 with a remainder of 3. So you can add that, and then so this is our answer, and then plus our remainder 3 over our divider, which was 3x plus 2, and that's your answer. Okay, and that's what you're going to see mostly, and that's what you see right here. Okay, so whatever your remainder is, you put it over what you divided by, bam, there's your answer, okay? So let's look at some examples. I don't know if we're gonna do all of these, and I may go fast, so pause if you need to. Okay, so our dividend is x squared minus 2x plus 3, and our divisor is x minus 1. And they want us to write it as polynomial form and fraction form, okay? So what do we multiply times x to get x squared? X times x is x squared, x times -1 is -1x. Okay, now I subtract this and subtract that, which makes that a positive, okay? Cancel, and then 2x plus x is -x, and then we bring down a plus 3. What do I multiply times x to get a -x? That'd be -1. -1 times x is a -x. -1 times a -1 would be a +2. That's changed signs, so we go down, those cancel, 3 minus 2 is 1. So here is our remainders, or the remainder is 1, and so if we did it as polynomial form, we would get x minus 1 times x minus 1, so x minus 1 times x minus 1, and then plus a remainder of 1. Okay, so there's that one answer, or at the most common one that you're going to see is the fraction form, x minus 1, then plus 1 over x minus 1. Okay, and you can even go even further to say x minus 1 squared plus 1 there, because we have those are two of the same factors. Okay. Let me see here. We're just gonna go to this one, and we're gonna use synthetic division. So again, synthetic division is what we're gonna use throughout because it's the easiest, but it's still important to learn how to do long division. So whenever we do synthetic division, we have like this factor. Okay, that's what our divider is, x minus 3. And so what we're gonna do here, if we set that equal to 0, then what we're gonna divide by is actually a +3. Okay, and so this is, we draw an L, we put our +3 out here. Okay, and then we take all of the coefficients of our polynomial, okay, which would be our dividend, and so make sure it's 3, 2, 1, 0, and so our answer is going to be in -1, so it's going to be an x squared down here. But so our coefficient is 2, -3, -5, -12. Okay, so we bring down our 2 here. Okay, so that's your first step. Always bring down this number, and then these we always multiply by this. Okay. This we just add, okay? We add in here and we multiply diagonally. So we bring down our 2. 3 times 2 is 6, so that goes up here. So now we add -3 plus 6 is a +3. Multiply again, 3 times 3 is 9, so that goes here. -5 plus 9 is a 4. Multiply again, 3 times 4 is a +12. -12 plus 12 is 0. Okay, and so here we have a 0, so that tells us a lot of things. First, let me write our answer. And so if we divided this, it was a cubic, now it's a quartic as our answer. Or not a quartic, a polynomial, okay? And so a quadratic. So that would be 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. Okay, and we wouldn't say, plus 0 over x minus 3. Okay, so plus 0 over x minus 3, if that's in fraction form. We don't need that. Okay, so this right here is a divisor. What that tells us is x minus 3, it is a factor. Okay, that also tells us that x equals 3 is a 0, which we will get into this chapter section. Okay, so that x plus 3 equals a 0. We could even go and we could factor this even more. Okay, we couldn't factor it, we could do the quadratic, we could figure out where it crosses, okay? But we could continue on, and we will continue on during this section, okay? So that is synthetic division. So let's do another example. Actually, we're gonna do 2 more examples of synthetic. Okay, and so if we have the -1 goes out here, okay, it's always opposite. And then 3, 2, 1, 0, so we're good to get 1, -5, 3, and -2. So we bring our 1 down. -1 times 1 is -1, and then we always add. -5 plus -1 is a -6. Multiply -1 times -6 is a +6. Add, we get 9. -1 times 9 is a -9. Add, we get -11. That is our remainder. So if we wrote it as summary in fraction form. Okay, we started with a cubic, now we have a quadratic. This is a 3, now it's a 2. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9, and then minus 11 over our divisor, which was x plus 1. Okay? So that is your answer. Okay, let's look at another one. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So this is a longer one, but it's fine. So this one is a fourth. Okay, so our answer is going to be as a cubic. Okay, so our -3, our 3 goes out here.
Attention students, if there are any students in the building that ride the bus, please make your way downstairs to the bus. Or make your way to the left side of the busing, please. Any students that need to ride the bus,
Coefficients
please
2,
make your way to the bus,
-5,
please.
7, -3, and 1. So let's bring down our 2. 3 times 2 is 6. We add -5 plus 6 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. 3 times 10 is 30. -3 plus 30 is 27. 3 times 27 is 6, 7, 81. 81 would be 82. Okay, and so we have 2x cubed plus x squared plus 10x plus 27 with plus 82 over x minus 3. Okay, and there we go. There's your answer. Okay, and I think that's where we're gonna leave off. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna stop as far as this little section. So that's the beginning of 2.4, and then we'll talk about how we apply everything in the next video and or the next class or whatever. Okay, bye.